Welcome back to Double Down University. I'm back at you guys with another KBO PrizePicks video. And today I have 4 props on today's board that I like. The first one, and we're going to start off with the hitters first, is Hwang Sung-bin over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs, as well as Song A-Sop over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And then we have Manuel De Jesus over 5.5 pitcher strikeouts, as well as Johnny Chirios under 18.5 pitching outs. So let's get into it. Let's start off with the hitters first, and we're going to go into our matchup with the NC Dinos versus the Hanwha Eagles. And in this matchup, we have a pitcher in Sung Ang-bak, who is, and pretty much I'm going with the same way I'm attacking the pitchers as well as hitters as last night. If you watched last night's video, we're looking for pitchers with a low K rate and a high walk rate. But in this scenario, Sung Ang-bak, his K rate is actually higher than what I would like to expect for a pitcher that I'm targeting, which he has a 22% K rate and a 14% walk rate, so that's really, really good as well. But he's also given up a crazy batting average of 356 of batting average against to both lefties and righties combined, and then he's also given up a balls batted in play batting average of 469, which is horrible. He has a average left on base percentage at 72%. What else? So with him, he has a 44% swing percentage, so he's not getting a bunch of swings. And then also that's also telling with his strikeout percentage kind of being a little fictitious, because he's only has a 9% swing and strike percentage. So what that means is that pitches that are strikes and are swung at and missed, he's only getting 9% of a swing and chase rate. And then he has a called strike rate of 17.2, but then he also only throws first pitch strikes at 59% of the time. As a pitcher, you want to be anywhere between 60 to 65, anywhere beyond that 60 mark, because that is crucial. The best pitch in baseball is first pitch strike. So we're going to pair him up against the lefty, which he struggles against, and I'll show you guys splits in just a second. So we're going to look at his advanced metrics of our NC Dinos hitter. So in this spot, he has a Song Ang-sop. He has a 389 batting average. He has a 433 on base percentage, of 500 slug, OPS of 933, has a ISO of 111, which is not bad. So he's not really a power hitter. He's more of a get on base contact type of hitter. He has a WRC plus of 160, which is really, really good, 60 points above average. And then overall, he's really, really good. He hits the ball on the ground. As you can see, he's a contact hitter. He hits the ball on the ground 54% of the time. Fly ball 27% of the time. So overall, he's just a really, really good hitter. And the reason why, I'm going to show you guys why I paired him up against Sung Ang-bak, is because he gives up a crazy batting average both ways to lefties and righties, as I pretty much described with his overall batting average to lefties and righties being over 300. So he gives up a 400 batting average to righties and a 345 batting average against lefties. And he is a righty. So we're going to attack him, like I said, with a lefty, because he hits the ball really, really well against righties. As you can see here, he bats 452 against righties. He has 9 RBIs, 3 walks, 14 hits, and 31 plate appearances, which is really, really good, and only struck out twice. So that is really, really good from his perspective. And then also he does really, really well with runners on base, as well as bases empty, at a 357 batting average with bases empty, and then runners on a 423 batting average, and then runners in scoring position, he bats 471. So that's really, really good. So that means that he's going to pretty much guarantee to get something going with runners in scoring position if he comes up to bat, as well as even if he has to produce for himself, he's shown the ability to do that at 357 batting average as well. Moving on to our next hitter. Our next hitter faces Sung Ang Lee, who is a pitcher for the Samsung Lions. And in this case, it's a perfect profile match for what I was basically getting at as far as the low K rate and high walk rate. So he has a 15% K rate, 15.4% K rate. He has a 11.5 percent walk rate, which is really, really high. He gives up a batting average as well of 391. He also has, like I said, his whip is really, really high at 2.25, and most of that is attributed to him not being able to strike out a lot of batters and being able to walk a lot of batters. He has a FIP score of 10.92, which is insane. I've never seen nothing like that before. Gives up a lot of hard contact. As you can see, he only has a 8.3% swing strike rate. So, like I said, he's not going to strike you out. He has an 82% contact rate. So, batters are being able to create contact against him. And then, same thing. Let's look at his splits. Gives up a 467 batting average to lefties, and he's able to hold righties in check to only a 222 batting average. So, we're going to attack him with, what do you guys think? A lefty? Yep. We're going to attack him with the lefty, and that's Hwang Sung-bin. And he is really, really good at hitting lefties, as he bats .556 against lefties as well. And he has really good numbers as well overall. So with him, let's see. Yep, this is him. So with him, he has a 12% K rate, a 5% walk rate. You would like to see his walk rate a little bit higher, like somewhere in the 8-9, especially with the K percentage like that. It shows that he's patient and he could be able to pick out his pitch that he wants to hit. But overall, his batting average is excellent at 353. He has a way above average balls batted in play, batting average of 409. He has a good WOBA, weighted on base percentage, at 354. He has a WRC plus of 8 points over the average of 100. He has a really good on base percentage of 389. So overall, he's a really, really good hitter. ISO power, not really there. Not a big extra base hit type of guy. That's what ISO power kind of measures, is your extra base hit potential, whether you hit doubles, triples, and home runs. He's more of a contact hitter, but the reason why he's a contact hitter is because he's a leadoff hitter. He has exceptional speed at 6.5 speed, so he's able to be able to get on base, and this is really, really key, especially with hits, runs, and RBIs with hitters, especially leadoff hitters, is because if they get on base via a walk or hit, they're able to steal a bag and put themselves in scoring position to be able to score and get you an easy, hits, runs, and RBI, or a cheap one off of just a base hit. Or if they are on base with no outs, and let's say the batter hits the ball to the right side, gets them over to third base, then they're able to just score on just a pop fly or anything in play to the opposite side of the field. So I really, really like him in this spot. He hits the ball hard as well. So that's going to wrap up our hitters, and then moving forward to our pitchers. Now the pitchers is just something that I looked at and I was like, wow, like that's kind of stands out to me. So like with DeJesus, this is a really good matchup spot for him because, for one, he is going up against one of the highest strikeout rate teams in the KBO, and the Kiwoom. So as you can see here, Kiwoom is the top strikeout team in the league, as they have 176 strikeouts. So what I did was I went back and I looked at his recent history against bad teams that strike out a lot, and dating back to last year. So I just looked at last year's stats. So I'm gonna just pull this up for you guys and kind of sort it. So we had NC Dinos, we had Samsung, and then we had Kiwoom. Those are the top three teams that struck out the most last year. Now granted, last year I think he played for Kiwoom, so we can kind of exit them out because he had no chance to go up against them unless it was like batting practice or something like that. So with him, let's go and look at, and that could also be another reason, is that you want to show up your old team that you could still pitch, whether they they moved on from him or he just signed a new deal with another team. As you can see here, he played for KBO last year. So let's see. Let's look at his stats. So let's go back to last year. So last year, and let's try to see if we can sort his strikeouts. Sort it a little bit. So he has to only get 6, right? So like I said, NC Dinos. Who were the 3 teams? So we had NC, Samsung, and let's throw KT in there since Kiwoom is a team that he played on. So we got NC, Samsung, and KT. So how did he fare against those teams? So against KT, he had 9 strikeouts. Against NC, he had 4 in this spot. Yep, 4. And then he played him again and had 10. And then he had 4 again. So, and then NC, Samsung, he had 5. So he does pretty well against the top strikeout teams. And then what was the last team? It's NC, Samsung, and KT. NC, Samsung, KT. KT had 6. KT had 9. Then like I said, NC had 10, and then he had 2 performances where he had 4. So I really like him to be able to go over in this spot. And then also dating back to this year, he's had over 5.5 strikeouts only once this year. He had 1 outing where he only had 66 pitches, which was, I think that was his most recent start. So this is a big bounce back spot. And I know he got pulled early in that game because he was, I was actually watching that game and he had like some type of hamstring tightness or something like that. So this is his first game back, so he's going to be extra motivated to come back and face his old team. So I like the over 5.5. It was at 5, so they moved it up to 5.5. I kind of like the hooks, the 5.5s, because if you get 5, it's a push, and then your other plays have to hit in order for you to win something. So I kind of like the win or lose, mentality with that. Now some people like pushes. I'm not a fan of pushes. But that's just that. I'm not gonna get too deep into it. But going on to our last but not least, we have who else was our other pitcher? Okay, Chirinos, right? So with him, the reason why I'm going under with that is because I know SSG is not a really good team, but 18.5 in KBO, that's a lot pitching out. So you have to go 6 in the third. So you have to go 6 innings and get out in the 7th inning to be able to go over 18.5. And just when I look back and I look at his overall, now I think this is his first year in KBO, if I'm not mistaken. He did play for I think like the Brewers or something like that. He played somewhere in the majors like last couple years or so. But with him, he's only went over once this year. He threw 91 pitches, but as you can see, his constant trend so far is he's throwing a lot of pitches. He's throwing 91, 93, 100, just to get 6 innings worth of work. And then when I look back at, I was like, well, shoot, how has pitchers fared against SSG over the last week or so? And so far, I went back and I looked at the whole maybe last week, the last 5 games. Only one pitcher has gone 7 innings or over 6 and 1/3 against them. So which was Ollie, I think it was Adam Ollier, that pitched for the Kia Tigers. He went over against them. But I kind of just go through and show you guys. I'm not gonna go all the way through all the games because that's gonna take up too much time. But so in this matchup right here, he went up against Hung Jung Ryu. He only went 5 and 1/3, and he threw 91 pitches. Um, and then also let's go a step further. So let's go 2 games back against, let's see, same team because they played them 3 times in a row. Same thing. Now Ponce went 7 innings. He went through 98 pitches to get there. Had 12 strikeouts. So, but the biggest thing is long as they battle and keep fouling off a bunch of pitches, then he will have to throw more pitches than expected, and which can lead to him getting pulled early, or to just attack him while scoring a bunch of runs against him, which will pull him that way as well. But I just think 18.5 is crazy. If he gets over, hey, tip our hat to him and say, congratulations, but that's a lot in KBO, especially in a league where these hitters battle.
and at bats. Only way I can see him going over is like just him just putting up a performance like that where you get like 10, 12 strikeouts and just make it easier on yourself. Even in strikeout situations, you can possibly see a 5, a 6, a 7 pitch at bat, where you're down 0-2 and you're just battling, trying to like, get even in the count where it's 2-2, 3-2, and trying to get it to a full count. So that's what I see out of this. Now, granted, he can go out and just shove and go 7 innings or whatever, and we tip our hat to him. But hey, the beauty about the under that I always will say is that you've already won before the game starts. They have to pretty much prove and beat you. So if he can do that, hey, more power to him. But let's go over our four again. So we have Hong Sung Bin over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Sung Ox up over 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. And then we have De Jesus over 5.5 pitcher strikeouts, and Chirinos under 18.5 pitching outs.